Hi guys, this is Jama Malney, and today I have this watercolor card to share with you. And I was inspired by a card that I found on Pinterest from Penny Ward, and that's what I was just showing on my iPad a moment ago. But hers was a Christmas card with blues, and I wanted to use purples. And then I envisioned some gold on it, and so I'll be showing that in a little bit. First, I'm going to start with the watercoloring, and I'm doing sort of 3 different shades of purple, and I wanted them to be sort of darker colors like Penny's, and to have those nice watercolor lines like the curvy brush stroke lines, but a harsh line, if that makes sense, so you could really see where the color ended. So I think I achieved what I wanted, and I was really happy with how this card turned out in the end. But there were a lot of mistakes or learning things along the way, and I kept those in the video because I thought it would be good to show you that no one's perfect, and maybe you could learn from my mishaps, maybe not even mishaps, but just some design decisions that I made and then I didn't like, and then how I changed them. So I'm using my heat tool to help speed up the drying process for the watercolors, and the first color I put down was a little bit too dark, so I had added a little bit more water, and now as I'm going, I'm learning that I want a little more water than I originally thought. I'm still pretty new to watercoloring, and so I'm still learning all the ins and outs of how much water I like and how much water I need for the look I'm trying to achieve. So it's really fun just to kind of play around, and you usually just can't go wrong with watercoloring, and even when you think it's going to look like crap, it usually ends up looking pretty good in the end. The key is letting it dry and seeing what it looks like when it's dry. And I'm really liking how this is starting to take shape and that really organic look that it has. So once I'm done with these purple shades, which by the way, I'm using my Kuretake Gonzai color palette, and I think I ended up using just 2 colors of purple, but I mixed 2 of them for the 3rd color. And then I wanted some splatters, so I added some gold and some black splatters that come in that palette. I have the 36 color set, and I absolutely love these watercolors. I actually got 3 new sets for Christmas that I'm really excited to play with. I haven't opened them yet, but I'm really excited. I got 2 fine text sets and one other set. I don't even remember what it is. But I'm really liking these ones. So once I finish with that purple background, I'm going to take it off of my board, and then it got a little bit warped, and so what I'm going to do, this is just a little trick, is to run it through your die cutting machine with no dies or anything. Just run it through to help flatten it out. And I put a piece of cardstock on top of it, that way any little bits that weren't all the way dry wouldn't get on my cutting plate. So I'm gonna just cut off the edges that were underneath the tape. This card right now is 5.5 by 4 1/4, which is an A2 size card, but I wanted to have a little mat around it in black when I'm finished, so I'm cutting it down to 4 by 5 1/4, so that there's so it's a 1/4 inch smaller. There'll be an 1/8 of an inch border around the whole thing. So I have these cute little border dies that are from Close to My Heart, and I really like this set of border dies. I've shown them before because it comes with 2 strips of dies that cut those 2 borders that you see there, but it's kind of like a 3 for 2 because you get those little tiny hearts from the middle also, and you'll see that I'm going to use them to embellish my card also. This stamp set that I'm using is a past stamp of the month, so it's no longer available, but these scripty sentiments are available in various stamp sets that are still available from Close to My Heart. So there's lots of sentiment stamp sets if you're looking for a sentiment stamp that you can check out on my website. And I'll have the link below. I'll have the link to my website and all of the products that I'm using down below in case you're interested in anything. So here's where I start to make mistakes. I really wanted to use gold, and I had this beautiful glittery gold embossing powder that I've had forever, but I just think it's so pretty. I've had that glittery gold since like high school. And so I stamped it directly onto the card, and once I started melting it, I thought it was beautiful, but it just didn't pop. It didn't have that pop, the dark purple and then the kind of dark gold. It just wasn't working for me. And I stamped directly on it because that's how Penny's card was, and that's what inspired me. But once I got it down, I was like, I just don't like this. So then I got out my Copic multi-liner pens, and I was testing which size line I liked to, because I thought, well, maybe if I go around the word with a black pen, it'll help it to stand out more. Well, as I started doing that, it looked awful. So I kept going to give it a little bit of a shot, but I just wasn't liking it. And so I'm thinking, what am I going to do to cover this up? And so then I got out some black scrap cardstock that I had. And by the way, I'm using my anti-static tool there for while I'm embossing. That helps this embossing powder not stick in stray places, only where I stamp the Versamark. So then I tried stamping it onto some black cardstock with that same embossing powder, and again another dark color, and the gold glittery embossing powder just wasn't popping enough for me. Again, very pretty, but it just wasn't working for me. So then a third time's a charm, right? So I don't think I'm showing this. I think I did this off camera the third time, but I stamped it again. Oh no, I am going to show it. So I'm stamping it again. I'm prepping my cardstock again. I'm going to stamp it a third time, and then I'm using a different gold embossing powder this time. It's a little bit brighter. You can see how this that I'm pouring back, it's almost got like a black undertone to the gold sparkle. So this new one that I'm using is like a brighter gold. It's lighter and brighter and just pops more against the black cardstock. So I was afraid I might have to switch to like a white embossing powder to make it stand out, but I'm really happy that the gold worked because I really had the gold in my mind. I really wanted that gold pop. So if you're not liking how an embossing powder is showing up, then maybe just try a different one, or mix it with a different embossing powder, or mix it with glitter, or try it on a different color paper, because you want that to stand out. It's an important design element of the card. So I really end up liking how it turned out. I've got more of that black, which helps give more weight to the card in that cluster on the side. So I like how it ended up turning out. There's my black border, so the black border just kind of helps anchor everything, and then that black sentiment that I'm going to add over on the side helps to anchor that cluster on the side and draw your attention over there to the sentiment and where all the design elements are. Then I wrapped some black twine around it too. I thought it needed a little something on the edge, and also had to make sure that the strip covered what was underneath it, and there was a gap on the left side, so I wrapped it in twine to help kind of take up that space on the left. And then I added a piece of gold glitter tape that helped pull in that gold some more, and then I added the black heart borders. I cut them in little pieces that you saw earlier, and I added those over here too. I popped this up on foam tape so that I could add those other little elements underneath it. And to adhere the little hearts, I just used my glue pen. You can use the Tombow glue pen, or I'm using Close to My Heart's glue pen here. They're pretty much the same thing. It's probably the same manufacturer. And it holds really well. So I do love using this glue pen. It's so easy. Then I'm going to use those little hearts that came out from that die as well. Some of them are cut out in glitter paper, and some of them are just regular black cardstock. So I have a little mixture going on. And I'm just going to add some finishing touches, some bling. I can't have a card without more bling. And I'm really liking how this all came together. So I had another little piece of the embellishments, and I had to finish the inside of the card with some white paper so that you could write on the black inside. And I thought, I usually don't finish the inside of my cards, and I thought, oh, these extra little pieces will be really cute on the inside of the card. So I finished the inside of this card too, which is rare for me, but I really like how it turned out. Just add a little bit more from the outside on the inside. So that is going to wrap up this card for today. Let me know what you think, and thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, let me know, and all the products are linked below. Thanks for watching.